One up. It paused for a moment. Hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome. And I'm waiting for Facebook to catch up as always. Uh-oh. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if they took away the comments again or what. There it is. All right. Woo! Ah, I've been having a grand old time with them. It's been really, really interesting. Hold on one second. I'm just getting my pinned comment ready to go here. Give me one second. All right. Here we go. All right. There we go. See, is it getting on there? Yep. Good evening, Angel Heart. How are you? All right. I'm catching up, everyone. Facebook lags so much sometimes. It just so throws me off. So, good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, depending upon where you are in the world. Welcome. It is Thursday evening, which means we're at Table Talk Thursdays tonight. Let me pull up. Okay, here we go. I've got my live now on here. Hi, Linda Lou. Hi, June. How are you? I'm going to push this back just slightly. All right, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Good afternoon. How is everybody? Hello, Opal. Hello. How are you? So, I kind of want to get a couple more people on here before I start because I have a question right in the beginning that I think is going to be quite illuminating. So we're going to just give it a minute. But I do want to say hi, Marie Taylor. Just want to let you know, Marie, I hope you will stay with us. And I appreciate you sharing this out. And I ask everyone, share my lives out to um, your timeline and or groups, please. Trying to get out there for more and more people to find me so I can help more and more people. Hello, Jenny, and hello, Shakti. So, Marie, tonight is actually Table Talk Thursdays. Every Thursday, I pick a topic, or we pick a topic collectively. I get ideas from you guys. And we have an open interactive forum. And so tonight's topic is negative versus positive energy. So, we're actually not going to be doing any readings tonight. Those are other days like Wednesday where it's scheduled and I do it last minute. Just make sure you're following and liking my Elyse Ann Psychic page and you get notifications when I go live. Hello, Cindy Rose. Hello, Will. And thank you, Shakti, for sharing. Everyone, share this out. Invite your friends. Let's get it going and rolling. All right. So tonight is Table Talk Thursdays, and it is negative versus positive energy. And I have just a lot to say about that. But what I would like to start with, thank you, Shakti. You said it's a great topic. Thank you, thank you. So the first thing I just wanted to have you guys do for me, if you would, actually for yourselves, is in one or two words, okay, up to three words, describe your life. Just write it down, have it in your head. Just three words that would describe your life. What are the words that you would use? Hi, Tommy. Welcome. Glad you're joining us. Hi, Princess Sophia. So write down, up to three words that describes your life or have it mentally in your head and just kind of tuck it away. And we're gonna hopefully I'm gonna remember to swing back, circle back to it. But let's start talking now. We've got about 14 viewers here. I'd love to see my numbers go up, but we're good. We're gonna go to the crux of things now. And of course, if you're new here. Emerging new outcomes, Linda Lou. Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up because that's one of the things I'm like, what does everybody think of the energy right now? Hi, Amy. Welcome. Energy is very, very interesting. It's been a whirlwind and it's been an up and down. Ride the wave. Shakti. You said waves, and it's so funny you said that because I see it more as a seesaw. Boom, boom, boom. It's been a wild ride, but we're still here, right? Will says on track. Well, that's good, Will. That's excellent. Hi, Christine. Welcome. So let's talk a little bit about energy. Some people have, a pretty clear understanding of energy and how it works. And a lot of people are very surprised when I start to speak about energy and how how much it affects us on so many levels. And Jenny says, freedom, healing, and growth. All right, June, my life is hectic, right? You're riding waves too. That's great. Oh, Amy, tower moments all around Pluto and retrograde, calling all those shadows out. Ah! Oh no. Ah! That's my reaction. I was wondering about all that. My week so far has been wild. Anyhow, let's talk. We just got to be good at surfing, right? I kind of say that balance beam, I suppose, which I did okay in school at. So, anyhow, so energy. Let's talk about energy. And some of you are going to understand. I'm going to start from the basics because some people don't realize the extent. You know it, but you maybe not have put it together for yourself. Hi, Thalia. Welcome. Busy and blessed. Opal says, "Hi, Serena. Welcome." So, so let's talk about energy. Everything's energy. Everything is energy. We're energy. Our words are energy. The table I'm sitting at and the laptop that I'm working on, it's all energy. What is the difference between all of it? How can it all be energy? Well, it's just like we learned in what, like fifth grade science, that everything is energy. It's just whether how fast those molecules are vibrating, the frequency of the vibration, that whether it's a liquid, gas, or solid, right? And so this is what sorry, I'm looking at some of the comments. This is what energy is all about. Everything is energy. And you hear me talk about it so much, about energy and words and thoughts and all of that. So let's talk a little bit more about that. And before I do that, let me look at some of these comments. Cindy Rose says, blessed, grateful, and honored. Awesome. Emotional sadness. And I'm not sure what you're saying there, that last word, Princess Sophie. I see Turk. Christine says, I'm feeling joy, aware of energy around me, vibration at different frequencies. Yes. Hi, Michelle. Welcome. Oh, tiring, emotional sadness, and tiring. Okay. Linda Lou, amazing. I knew that in seventh grade when looking through a super microscope, seeing that nothing is solid it's all moving. Yes, 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 yes. And so, we so many times don't think very much about it. We're just going through life, walking through, doing our thing. Yes, it does all interact. That's right. It absolutely does, Christine. Uh, yeah, I realized it was a typo, Princess Sophia. No problem. So, Christine, yeah, it all does interact. It affects every single piece of everything. That's why it is so major to understand energy. And I could probably talk for hours and hours on it. I could go in all kinds of different directions. But I want to talk a little bit more. I know in the beginning of this, and if you weren't here, let's go ahead and do it one more time. Go ahead, everyone, and just think of a minimum of, or excuse me, a maximum of 3 words that you would use to describe your life. And you can just hold on to it. You don't have to necessarily share it. Just hold on to it because we're going to circle back to it. And so let's talk about the effect of all of this. I have taught workshops about living a spiritual life and things like that. So I'm going to touch somewhat on, I think, on that tonight, because I could have gone, like I said, in a lot of different directions. But I think it's such an eye opener for people when they realize that maybe they aren't living as spiritually as they thought. And it's not to go, ooh, we caught you up, or we church you up. It's not that. It's about bringing an awareness to you so you can make shifts in your thought processes and words and everything else, the way you look at things. Angel Heart says, overwhelmed, complacent, unsettled, weird mix of positive and negative words. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you. Hi, Gunjan. Hello. Welcome. So, to me, I would look at those as mostly negative. That's why I went, huh. When you said mix of positive and negative words, it's interesting to me. Which words would you say are positive, which are negative, Angel Heart? I'm just curious. Christine, changing in positive ways with some difficult breaks from toxic. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. So hi, Sherry. Welcome. So let's talk about how this all affects us, okay? In society, there's a lot of sayings, there's a lot of cultural sayings, there's a way of communicating, there's a slant or perspective. And if you've been at my lives enough, heard me teach and talk and do my readings enough, you may have heard this before. But it's the fact that, especially in America, okay, we are raised on a foundation of complete negativity. And it's not just negative words. It's not just the no's and the can'ts and other negative words that we use. Hate's a negative word, stupid. There's all kinds of words we can use. And Linda Lou says, isn't negative just a mindset? I don't look at it that way. No. And that reminds me, I'm glad you said that, because actually one of the things I'm hoping to remember to also talk about are, in the psychic world, the negative and the positive energies that exist. So if I don't get to it tonight, we may do a second live, on this topic next week. But let's see how we do with this. I think complacent in addition to feeling centered. All right, I gotcha. All right, whoops. And my hand must have hit my tablet because it knocked me out of my live. Hold on a second, guys. Give me a moment here. Got to get back into it. It's very sensitive, my tablet, so if I even barely touch it, my hand drops or something by accident and touches it, the whole thing goes away. So I gotta start again. Here we go. Let's see. Christine says, you choose to feel the way you want to feel. That's true. That's part of it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. So we're raised on a foundation of negativity. We started out with a lot of parents use bad girl and bad boy, bad and good. But is the person really bad or good? Is anything bad or good? But the intention we're giving is, there's something to be afraid of in the energy, that energy, the vibration of the words good and bad. They're exact opposite. And we know exactly, hi Jade, welcome. We know exactly the reaction or the energetic meaning behind these words. And so from the get-go, if you look at school, it's right or wrong. If you look at advertising, right, it's all about, you're not good enough if you don't own this, or you don't look like this, or you haven't done that, or you don't have your retirement when you're at age 30 and you have it all figured out. I don't know how many do, right? I'm being sarcastic there. But it's about this foundation of the negative and the positive. And I personally, you probably have heard me say this before, I grew up in a very negative household. Everything was from the negative slant. Not only were the glasses, the glass wasn't half full, it was three-quarters empty. That's really kind of the mindset that I grew up in, unfortunately. But I have learned over years, I've worked very hard on it, to shift into the positive and look at things positively and use positive words, because what happens is, that's all vibration. It's all vibration. How do you think words are even formed? It's air going over the diaphragm. It's vibration. Our thoughts send out waves of vibration. It's all energy. Everything is energy. And that's why I'm so big about watching words. And I even will bring it very lovingly up to people. Do you realize you said that? And society has these sayings. And one of the things, I have to bring this one up because it's been around for years. I don't even know if people are still using it as much, but it was one that I would always cringe at. That saying, that popular saying, "Oh, it's killing me," and I'm like, don't say that, because what happens is, we're sending those signals out. There's no discernment. Spirit doesn't go, "Oh, she didn't really mean that," or "He didn't really mean that." They just go, "Okay, it's killing you. We hear you. There you go." And so we don't realize all these everyday things we say. Oh, a pain in the, and if you think about it, they're being a pain in the backside. Well, if you're not careful, you keep saying those words and it goes out to the universe. It sends a signal. Every time we say or think or do anything, we are sending energetic vibration out to the world and to spirit. And let me catch up here now on a couple of the comments. So Jen says, "Oh no, the glass is not good enough. Ha ha ha. Me too. House of negaholics." Yeah, yeah, I'd say that, Jen, for sure. Trying to stay positive can be a struggle. I agree, Christine. I have some tools though that'll share in a little bit that can possibly help with that. They're tools that got me through my journey. Most people don't wouldn't even think that I was negative at any point in my life, like mostly negative. I mean, I have those moments, of course. We're all human, and I do see that I slip into old habits every once in a while, which just tells me be vigilant again. And there's certain words I use and that I'm working on eradicating, but they're so ingrained, right? This is what we were brought up on. Even if you had a positive household, if you just look at let alone just the, again, pass fail in school, good, bad, bad boy, good boy. It reminds me, my mother always used to say, the child is not bad or good. Maybe what they did wasn't great, but the person themselves isn't. That was always my parents' philosophy. That was the one thing that was very positive. My parents never used those words, but everything else was a negative slant. It was very interesting. Very interesting. Linda Lou says, I grew up in a family where never enough. So of course, they're never as enough. Yes, when there's a lack mentality of never enough. Now, this is another thing. Let's talk about that. Your word is grateful. That's awesome, Christine. Sometimes you just need to do the work and your word is grateful. Absolutely. I love it. So, let's see, what was I going to say here? Oh, the never enough. And all right, yeah, let's talk about that for a minute with the never enough and the negativity and so forth. We think that maybe we're not affected. We think, oh, we know what they're saying. Or when you say something or think something, you think in your head, maybe in addition, that, oh, everybody knows I'm just kidding or I don't really mean it. But the words form a vibration, right? If you say, oh, it comes out a certain way because you have your mouth in an O, and it causes the air to come out in a certain way, and it causes the vibration. Music is caused by, it is created through vibration. Let me not say caused. Is created through vibration. It's all vibration. The wind instruments, string instruments, the bow going over it, causing a vibration. It all creates sound. And thoughts will do the same. And what happens is spirit does not discern any of this. And what we don't realize is what we're feeding ourselves. What kind of, quote unquote diet are we feeding ourselves? Our word diet. What are we saying to ourselves? Because believe me, if you think that you're going to say negative things about yourself or to yourself, that it's going to be, that it won't affect the energy, you're fooling yourself, because you will. You will. Now, look, nobody's perfect. We're not going to, except for me. No, I'm just teasing. Nobody's perfect. We're all human, right? So some of this is going to happen, but the more in awareness we are, right? The more we can kind of cut off that negative energy before it can get out there. So let me look at a few more of these comments and then we'll go further along. Hello, Allison. Welcome. Opal, my childhood was very dramatic. I'm so sorry to hear that, sweetheart. Linda, words matter. They set the tone. Yes, they do. From an audio aspect, and for everyone around you on the physical plane, but it also sends out all of those messages to the universe, and they just receive it. Again, they don't discern. They just receive it. All right. So, Linda Lou, they set the energy. Yes, they do. Hi, Mario. Christine, you too. You are a trauma survivor. I am so, so sorry. Shakti, words are spells. They can be, yeah. I would agree with you on that in a certain way. Absolutely. Christine, self-talk can be hardest on self from trauma. Well, my dear love, Christine, I understand. I'm a survivor. And so I have learned how to change and shift and heal. Hi, Carissa, and do and look at things from a different perspective by and through self-talk. And I'm still working it. There are times I still have to have my talks. But before, where it was constant having to have these talks about it, I don't need to do it so much anymore. And so, yeah, it can be very difficult because when you're a survivor of any which way, your foundation is quite frankly, and I'm in no way an expert, okay? So this is my personal opinion and from my personal experiences of healing and going through this. Our foundation is not very solid at all, and it's based on a very, very unstable and non-nurturing space. And so we believe everything we're fed, and whether we realize it or not, everybody, all of those words and feelings and thoughts, they flow on the subconscious. You may think that it doesn't, but it does. And it is buried deep that you're probably not even aware of some of it. I know sometimes with friends, if they say so, I'm not like standing over them, just, waiting. But if I notice something and they say something, I might bring it to their attention. They're like, oh gosh, I never even thought about that. I never even thought about that. And so it's about bringing into an awareness because it's so ingrained. It's so ingrained. Not only were we taught that way, but then we adopted it because that's what we were shown and taught and told and treated as, right? And so it all flows on the subconscious. So that's why this is so important to be aware of. Let me look at a few more of these comments here because I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Let's see. Jen, does spirit hear the thoughts also, but the words are just a stronger vibration? Well, yeah, they hear our thoughts because it's vibration. Is it stronger? I don't know. That's a really good question. And I think I would to take an educated guess at that really is what I'm going to be doing here. Because I'm really not sure. That's a good question. But I would think that it's just if they're energy and everything is energy and they're communicating with us as energy, I'm not sure really if the words are a stronger vibration or not, because our thoughts are just as strong. It's just it doesn't have necessarily a recognizable sound to the human ears. Oh, I like that. Okay. I love when spirit gives me this, like these words, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that was really good. Okay, so I hope that made sense. I'm not even sure what I just said because it was channeled from spirit for a moment. That's what happens. I kind of fall in and out of channel also when I'm doing these things. So anyhow, so that's how I would answer that as an educated answer. I'm not sure that again, I'm not sure it's a stronger vibration. It's all vibration. So the strength you're seeing is just on the physical plane and how the vibration reacts and acts on the physical plane. All right. God sent. Yes, Christine. Self-love is important. Yes, Elizabeth. Yes. Gosh, I could go on like every time I say something, I can go here, I could go here. There's so many different tangents. But let's talk about the self-love for a moment. Actually, let me look at a few more of the comments and then I am going to come back to that, Elizabeth. Okay. So Linda Lou, right. The universe doesn't have good, bad, right, wrong. It just gives you what you're asking for. Good, bad, and different. Universe knows no bounds. Yes, Linda Lou. And not only do they know no bounds, what it has to do with is universal law states that they cannot, and none of us can really trespass upon another's free will. And spirit will not, our spirit team will not pass on, will not step on our free will. So they do not judge the words or the thoughts or the actions. They just receive the message and they go, okay, they sent me that ball. I'm going to run with it. So that's how I would answer that one. Very good, very good. I like that. Okay. Suffering from trauma is terrible. I believe a lot of empaths are trauma survivors. Never thought of it that way, Allison. Suffering from trauma is soul wrenching, but we do have the ability, and I'm living proof of that we can heal a lot of it. And I've spent a lot of serious time and very, very in-depth healing that I've done for myself and with myself. And Yeah, but it's our responsibility to start pulling ourselves out of it as best we can. So I know the path. I know the path, and I'm sending everybody much love because, yeah, I'm about to cry. As healed as I am, it's still part of who I am. It's part of my background. So yeah. Yes, I believe this is Michelle says my okay, Mario, my ex-wife broke my confidence and made it hard to self-love, but I'm trying to get it back. Fabulous, Mario. Yeah, when the words, I'm just going to assume, Mario, that the words or the actions really kind of, that's a strong word I heard, pummeled you. And yes, it's the same with our upbringing. Okay. These are people that are to love us. They do the best they can. I'm not pointing the finger. I'm a survivor. And I have forgiven and I've got my whole deal. But you believe me, it set me up for a lot of things throughout my life because I wasn't prepared. I didn't have a good solid foundation. And I always saw things from the negative aspect. And usually when we see things so negatively, we take it on as our own and we blame and we shame and we guilt and we feel a lot of negative things about it because we're wired, if you will, to react within that space of negativity. And so it all really just comes into this whole big ball. If the glass is, three quarters empty, well, that's your basis of how you look at the world, your perspective. And so it just fuels and feeds more negativity. So let me see here. Let me look a little bit further on these comments. Christine, I'm learning to love myself in more meaningful ways. It's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's what we're all here for, is to grow and heal and learn love, because love is really the only reality that there is. So that's awesome, Christine. I like that. Jen, it made sense. Okay, cool. Let's see, Mario. Yes, and some have to be shown they are empathic even. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. And as I think about it more and more, it's very, very well possible it's true, because I know, I've always been empathic, but I'm also a survivor. But I know as an empath, we always feel things about 1,000 times deeper, more intensely than other people. So the negativity can hit us even that much harder. If you think of a basin, if you have just a small little pot, someone maybe who was raised in a lot of positivity will only have, this is the analogy I'm coming up with, this only this small little bowl that'll catch all the negativity. But when you're raised in it and you're a survivor, your bowl is this huge dam almost, because that's what you're used to. You're just used to it being dumped in your bowl and dumped on you and dumped in your bowl. So, and then it starts to weigh on us, and we start to look at things in a certain way, and we start to think of ourselves as a certain way. And it's all just sits in all of this negativity. And that's the beauty of positivity. It has the opposite effect. Of course, we know this. And if you think that you can't do this, if you think you can't turn it around, I am living proof that you can. Did it take a lot of hard work? Absolutely. But I'm worth it. And I love myself like I never have my whole entire life. I like myself. I love myself. I'm happy in my life. Do I have personal things going on? Absolutely. Just like everybody else. But I've learned how to step out of that negative mode and that everything dumping on me. And I've been pulling out of it. I still have situations where, spirit's testing me, dot, dot, dot. But I always come back into this positive space. And believe me, if you knew me prior to this, you would be amazed, because not from ego, but because the fact that I could even get to this space. So I'm saying this to encourage all of you, is only reason why I am sharing this with you, is to encourage you, to let you know that you can do it. It's not insurmountable. It may be a big job, but it's not insurmountable. And I'm passionate about it because it's really turned my life around 180. 180. So, all right, let me take a look here. Some more comments. Okay. Sherry says, yes, free will. Absolutely. It's about perception. My good may be your nightmare. That's true, Amy, but there's certain vibrations with words and actions that we know sit in the negative realm of things, right? So, let me see. We are stronger than we credit ourselves. I believe that in many ways. Yes, Christine, I agree. Let's see. Mario, Michelle Bottom. Yes, it's very hard to love ourselves again because we were told we are nothing. Yes, Mario. I understand, but that's exactly the mission, right? Because we grew up in a negative world. Many of us were, told you're not good enough. And like I said, even society tells us that. Okay. And so, yes, it can be very, very hard to love ourselves. That's a lot of the journey for a lot of us on this planet Earth for this lifetime. And that's about ascending the soul, the ascension of the soul, the growth, the enlightenment, the expansion. So let's see. Exactly. It's a 180-degree spectrum. Balance is key along my path. Absolutely. I love that, Amber. And hi, Amber. I don't know if I said hi to you. So welcome. Let's see. Elizabeth says, I've learned to sound. Let me backtrack. Let's rewind that for a moment. Ooh. I have learned to surround myself with positivity as well as give it. Awesome. It does. That's great. Elizabeth, I'm glad you brought that up because it does it does help feed the soul and it does help lift us up. So if we surround ourselves with positivity as much as possible, it helps to build that foundation of positivity. So, Mario, yes, it did. And yes, family can cause it as well. It's just so hard at times. Yes, Mario, I know. I know, sweetheart. But for all of us, we can choose what we want to believe and believe about ourselves. And when we're traumatized or we have this more of a negative based foundation, it's much harder to believe in ourselves and to not take in everything that everybody says about us negatively and turn it internally, mull it over for days and start to believe some of it. And the fact of the matter is, get real with yourself. And this is for everybody. I know I kind of been addressing Mario's comment here, but it's really for everyone. Get to know yourself, be real with yourself, and ask yourself, what is the authenticity of myself? Where do I truly stand? Because it doesn't matter if you're selling who you are. You're a good, a loving, compassionate, kind person. Somebody's going to come along and say you're something else. Well, we have a choice. And the stronger we are in our foundation of positivity and trust and belief and faith, because we've built ourselves up and we won't tolerate that negativity. We won't tolerate those comments from other people. We can say, that's your opinion, but I know the truth of where I stand. And again, it's a journey and a process. It just takes time. And we're going to make forward movement, but then, we have gee, I slipped and I always see it as, for me, like my foot slipping off the path almost down the hill. Like it's a little, on the edge, my foot slips a little bit. And so this is a reminder, hey, there's something there. But the stronger you become in the positive world and positivity and surrounding yourself, it just has such a all-encompassing effect. I almost can't put it all into words. Right? So here we go. Let me see here. And I just want to say we're about halfway through and I want to say welcome to everyone. If I haven't said hello to you yet, I want to say hello and welcome. This is Table Talk Thursdays. I am Elyse Ann Psychic, the Psychic Liaison, Bridge the Unseen. Please follow and like my Elyse Ann Psychic page and you will get notifications of when I go live. I also do psychic mini reading events, regularly scheduled one on Wednesday. I also do last minute ones. So if you make sure your notifications are also set at favorites after following and liking, you'll get notifications of when I go live. Additionally, I want to take this moment. I'm so excited. I have my Zoom event, gallery style psychic mini reading event coming up next Tuesday and Friday. We're starting to sell out. There are still some availability there. So go to my website, ElyseAnnPsychic.com, and check the event out on my event page, Zoom event. And it's just $25, and it's a lot of fun. It's a maximum of 8 people. It's a small, intimate group. I start out with a channeled message. I read for everyone in the gallery, and then I end with a channeled message. And the beauty of this is because it's such a small, intimate group, the you tend to have more of common themes running through the group in the readings. So you'll get from your reading, but you're also going to probably resonate even more strongly with some of the other readings than you would like in a public forum, is what I'm trying to get at. So it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. I did it for the first time last month, and we had a lot of fun. So I'm going to see if it fills up for every month or what the deal is. But it is scheduled May 4th, 7 p.m. Arizona time, and May 7th, my birthday. We're going to do it at 4 o'clock. So maybe you'll join me on my birthday. So go ahead and check out my website on that one. All right. So let's see. Jen, on that path with you, so thankful to have learned to ask spirit for healing. They are amazing. Took decades to make progress. Yeah, Jen, you know, it's been a journey. Yeah, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. Where I am, I truly have to say, for the first time in my life, I really truly am happy. Do I have things? Yeah. Is my whole life perfect? No. Wish it was. But so, it's well worth investing in yourself. You don't have to be perfect along the way. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit on how to catch some of it and how to push it back into the positive things. So let me see here. June says, but don't we blame ourselves more than the universe? Some people do. I don't think there's so much necessarily a blame game. To me, there just is. I don't necessarily look at blame or fault or cause. I look at the situation itself as it just is, and what am I to learn from it? So, but blame is a very negative, it comes from a very negative space because it's judgment and it has a lot of negative energy with it. So that's the way I look at that. Let's see, Allison, that's the best thing to do, surround myself with positivity. Get rid of any and all negativity in your life. Yes. Yes, come from love. Yes, Christine. Princess Sophia, trauma is painful, but we have to push through the pain. Absolutely. Absolutely, I agree. Okay, hi Amy. All right, Linda Lou, I have to change computers. Oh, the feed is stopping and starting every seconds. Be right back. Okay, Linda. I think I'm a little behind on that comment. So maybe you're back already. I don't know. I'm just getting to it now, but oh, Amber and Amy, your sisters. Well, welcome. Okay, Allison. We really do. Being an empath can be very difficult, especially growing up. Everything hits you and you don't exactly know how to react to it. And then we naturally want to help everyone, and we end up trying to help the wrong people, which then takes everything out of us. Interesting, interesting. I'm going to address that in a minute. Will Rush, I have finally seen the importance of having a foundation. I'm my path has my path has built me into that strong person I am today. My aunt just told me recently that the thing she admires about me the most is the way I constantly turn lemons into lemonade. That's awesome, Will. And in some ways it's a skill, but it's also just an investment in self again, to love ourselves enough to want to shift it. So that's beautiful. Christine, I was told I was angry, glad to be rid of her. All right, when it comes to things like that, people project. Really, if you think about it, anything and everything anybody says about us is their perspective because they're seeing it from their very own foundation. And what is their foundation? Is it solid? Was it, are they a survivor, which means the foundation is very shaky? Are they a positive or negative person? Or, so there's so many things. So yeah, it's about just really, just assess and answer yourself. Was I angry? Did I act, in a way that maybe I could have done something different? That's fine. But yeah, we have a right to, and we should discern whether or not something somebody says really rings true with ourselves. All right. Jenna O'Farrell, so inspiring, Elyse Ann. Your smile says it all. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. It's been a long road. I have to say, I couldn't say that I'm so happy. I really have to say that's a fairly new phenomenon for me to say I'm truly happy, like really, truly happy. I have to say, it's just really been the last year or two. I mean, I've been happy, but there's a difference between truly happy in all different ways and being happy. I see a difference. So thank you. Thank you so much, Jen. Thank you. All right, Will, it's work, but well worth the blessings that come with leveling up. Yes, Will, absolutely. I love it. Okay. Linda Lou, I'm back. Thanks, Spirit, for having multiple computers in the house. All right, Linda, there you go. Yeah, I'd be in trouble. I have my one and only. Then I have my tablet. So, hi, Natalie. You missed the first half. Well, you know what, honey? This will be posted as soon as it's done. It gets posted on my page. So you'll be able to rewatch. All right. Allison, I was broken down so badly back when I was married that I didn't even recognize myself when looking in a mirror. I am doing everything I can to heal myself still now and realizing I have a lot of shadow work to do still. Well, yes, but the thing becomes this, and it is a lot of shadow work, you guys, but it's it was again, what we were, our foundation that we were given. We didn't know any differently. If, if we're told something over and over and over and it's negative about us, eventually we're going to believe it, especially when we're young. We're learning who we are. We're being molded as to who we are. Now, it's not to lay blame or point a finger or get angry with, our parents. They did the best they could with the tools they had in the moment in time. It doesn't mean that it's okay what they did, but at the same time, this is about taking ownership for ourselves and really deciding what it is, how we want to show up for ourselves, and what we want our foundation based on. Because I was the queen of beating myself up. The queen. You wanna bet? I'm sure I just knew that like several of you were over there. Yeah, really? You think so? You haven't met me yet, really? And I'm like, yeah, you think so? You haven't? So anyhow, because I'm a survivor and I was taught. I was fed a foundation of not good enough and all the things that can go along with being a survivor. Okay. But I am. I'm more than good enough. And I have worked very hard to get there. And so it is a lot of shadow work, yes, but you can definitely do it. Just nice and easy, however long it takes you. It took me a very long time. I had a lot to unpack. So, all right, Mario, it really is, and we will be stronger from it. Absolutely, Mario. That's the one thing. At one point, I asked myself, how do I feel about all this? I'm not saying, gee, it was a walk in the park, and I'm just so glad I am a survivor. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is I can look back now and know that it's made me who I am. And for that, I'm grateful because I love who I am. And it has actually really prepared me to do the work that I'm doing with all of you. So I am blessed enough to have had it turn to a point where um, it may sound a little weird, but I'm grateful in many ways for my experiences. If I had a choice, I probably wouldn't choose. I know I wouldn't choose it again, but it is my past and it is what is. And so I've made my lemons out of, I've made my lemonade out of the lemons. So, all right. Christine says, I can give to others without hesitation, but not give to myself so easily. Yeah, Christine, that's all part of the building up of self. And a lot of us do that because, again, we're given such an, it's better to give than receive. That's a very negative saying if you think about it, because it's asking us to deplete ourselves and give away to a diminishing level of ourselves. That's the way I see it. Now, I'm not knocking any religions. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just looking at the energy and the intention of the words. What are they? And they're very negative. They're very negative if you think about it. And that's the thing about our society. There's so much negative. It's so ingrained in us. And it's our job to step into the positive because that's what's going to build us. That's where love stands. That's where all the things that lift the vibration sit, is in the positive. All right. So let's see here. Will says, Spirit just told me yesterday that what I'm doing now is bigger than anything I've done in the past. Let that shit go, learn the lesson, and move forward. I said, thank you, Spirit. Amen. Everybody, amen. Hallelujah. Yeah, no, I agree. Absolutely. And you know, what's really interesting, if you haven't been, I'm almost positive almost all of us have been affected by this, but the energy that's sitting on this planet at this point has been that has been sitting on this planet for several years is an energy of healing. If you look at your own life and the people around you, it is so much of a space of healing. People are going through some very, very deep, intense situations and healing. People are dealing with such deep stuff. All right. And so, yeah, we're being asked to step up because the vibration of this planet is rising. The frequency of the vibration is rising, and in order to go along with it, we, to go on that ride, we need to let go of some of that heavy stuff, because that's all sits in negative energy. Trauma's negative. So let's see. Elizabeth says being emotionally abused and being told I was invalid at the time only left me with negativity. Hard to get rid of the toxicity, and I have blossomed since. Awesome, Elizabeth. Yes. The thing is, anybody can say whatever they want about another person, but it's our responsibility to look at it and say, do I believe it also? Because again, if they're walking around so toxic and unhealed and they're carrying all this trauma and garbage, if you will, I'm not putting them down, I'm just saying, then of course they're going to come from that perspective. Are they looking through a dirty window or a clean window? If you stood between, in front of two different windows and you look through a very dirty one, you look through a very clean one, you're going to see two very different perspectives. And it's the same with the negative and the positive. Do you live in a space of negativity, or do you live and sit in a space of positivity? It's going to definitely affect your perspective on everything. Self, life, other people. I mean, everything. It has an effect on everything. How you even interact with other people. It does. Because if you think about it, if you've ever been approached by somebody who is really angry, your initial reaction, it's a negative energy, and your initial reaction, or very negative even, they're usually angry people too. Lots of times, not always, but they kind of go hand in hand lots of times. You're kind of like, whoa, that energy is repelling you, right? You're just like, whoa, I don't want to interact with that. Well, it's the same thing that's happening with all these maybe it's not really a well spoken but lower level negativity that people put out. In other words, they may be having these negative thoughts, but that goes out. And remember, we're energy beings, so we're always receiving and sending out signals and communicating with others through the energy before we even talk verbally. So, okay, let's see here. Jen, that is so true. Deep healing of one thing makes everything feel a little bit better. Absolutely, Jen. Absolutely. I never could have said even 3 years ago that I was really happy with my life. I was happy, but there were so many things. And now my life isn't like that hugely different, but my perspective is. And I look at the blessings of things, and I'm grateful, even though if it was a really crappy situation with someone else. I can separate that piece out. I can look at the human side and go, well, that was really crappy, and I am upset. Then I can look at the spiritual side and say, yeah, but this is what I got from that. This is how I grew. These are the gems I got. This is what I learned. And that adds to my happiness because I understand there's a purpose. I'm not over here necessarily bemoaning it as a human being. Yeah, I still have my emotions. I'm not a robot. I'm going to have my upset, my anger. I had a situation just recently. I was upset. I was angry, but I was also like feeling good inside. I'm like, what's that all about? And then I realized because I'm very, very grateful. I was sitting in this space and being so grateful for the experience. I learned a lot from just that small amount time period. I learned a lot. And so I'm good. See, that's how I'm happier because I don't let those things take me down. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I used to let things bother me for years and I'm not exaggerating. So I get it. So, okay. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Oh, Mario, so much fun. You're talking about the Zoom event. Well, come on over again this month. We're doing it again. All right. Let's see. Going through it now. Christine says, okay, Elizabeth, my daughter's father and his whole family. Cutting ties was easy and it brought light into mine and my daughter's life again. That is so cool. Christine, joy is important. Yes, yes, absolutely. I agree. And yes, that's another thing that has translated into my life to bring more happiness. I allow more joy into my life. I look at things from a more joyful space, even those things that I'm just like, oh, did you hear my little growl? um, so yeah, being from a positive space, just everything is, I can't even begin. It's almost like it naturally just flows. If you're from this positive space, it flows out and it touches everything. It's almost like, a black and white picture and you allow the light and the joy to flow out and everything's got, things start lighting up in technicolor, and it's so different. It's so much more bright and joyful and positive. So yeah. Okay, Amy, what I see in the spiritual community is getting stuck in the positive and ignoring the negative without healing the root, which can lead to blocks in spiritual ego. Well, pardon me. Um, I like that, Amy. I like that take on it. It takes me back quite a lot of years to something that I always kind of felt and became aware of and then felt as a spiritual teacher, I guess you would call me. Excuse me a minute, everyone. Pardon me. If Amy and everybody, if you've listened to me enough, but even if you're new to me, here we go, right? You will hear me say lots of times that we are a spiritual being having a human experience, but we are also a human being having a spiritual experience. We are both. I don't feel either one can exist without the other because both are realities to us, or for us, I should say. They're both realities. All right. And that used to trip me up so much because when I started this journey, coming from a very negative background, trying to become positive because, spirituality, it's all about the positivity. I used to go around in circles because when I'd screw up, I'd beat myself up and, oh my God, you're supposed to be positive and what's wrong? And, da, 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 da. And finally one day I woke up and I went, wait a minute, this is so counterproductive to growing and learning that I'm thinking I have to be this perfect person because that's all they pump into you. Be positive, be positive, be positive, be positive. But you see, I talk a lot about processing your emotions so that you can heal it and release it. So absolutely, we have to look at both sides. I'm never saying just ignore the negativity. We deal with it. But I'm talking about finding a way to heal it, process it and heal it and release it and also shift it into a positive. Okay. Because, yeah, oh gosh, that used to trip me up. That's why I'm so adamant when you hear me say that not only are we a spiritual being having a human experience, we're absolutely a human being having a spiritual experience. Because a lot of spiritual leaders just sit on the side of spiritual being having a human experience. But I just don't see it for how we can separate the two. So I hope that helped with that and helped. I hope you understood that. And I like the way you put that, Amy. Thank you. So Linda Lou says, I don't blame. I always go internal to see where I could have said or done something different to have not caused something to come my way. All right. Yeah. It's not about a blame game. It's just about learning and growth, right? Absolutely. Christine, it's hard to cut off from abusive family. It makes no sense. I forgive. So then why can't I just talk? Well, Christine, I think that's a lot deeper than just getting here. I think there's a lot of things I could say to that, but I think it's kind of more of a personal deep thing. So if I wanted to acknowledge your comment, but I think the one thing I will say, Christine, is maybe why you can't just talk is because there's still healing to do, sweetheart. Because you're not feeling as well, as grounded as maybe you would like to be. And so you still feel that vulnerability. So in a nutshell, that's what I would say. So I could see it then looking back and being pointed out about anger. All right. Linda Lou, getting comfortable in your own skin. Oh, yes, honey. Absolutely. Here I am. Take it or leave it. Oh, goodness. I'm having fun tonight. Thank you, guys. Opal, I still have a hard time with being good to self. Well, Opal, yeah, that, look, it took me a lot of work and time to get to where I am. It really has. So I understand. And it's not a straight line, anyone. It's not a straight line. And part of being good to self is it kind of walks hand in hand with the self-love. And that's another reason for positivity. Anytime you start beating yourself up or saying negative things to yourself or putting negative words out there, or negative thoughts, cancel clear. State cancel clear, because you're going to stop the vibration of that going out to the universe. The message, you stopped it from being sent. Okay, and then you can shift it around into a positive. See, all of that is also about feeding into it all feeds into, right? The self-love, the self-worth, the self-respect, all of that. And it's a journey. And when we've been knocked down so hard in so many ways and we're raised in such a negative environment, we're taught we're not good enough. We're taught we're not valuable enough. We're taught that you're not worth spending time on or taking care of, right? I mean, I'm making very general statements. So it's re-educating, it's retraining, it's rewiring, if you will, to become more of that positive and to put into place what you need for you, that you know is for your best and healthiest. All right. So Amy says giving and receiving are the same vibration. Very interesting. I don't know if I've ever looked at that. I like that. I'll have to sit with that one tomorrow. Linda Lou, I always interpreted that the Bible is giving without expectations. Some people give with expecting to receive, which to me is ass backwards. Yeah. We could have an ideological conversation about that. I believe in giving from the heart. If you want to, you want to. That's really it. So I get it. Give because you want to. Oh, Christine, there you go. Real decision and a practice skill being in the positive. Yes, Christine, that is very, very true. It is a real decision. And is it I think the skill, yes, I agree, but I'd like to not scare anybody off by saying the skill just builds by you practicing. It's not like you have to be perfect or, oh my gosh, how do I do that? It's just by stepping into awareness, being in an awareness, and then working, in that awareness, you'll slowly start to realize more and more, and you'll be able to catch it more and more. Okay. Lokesh, hi, what about you? We are not doing readings, my dear. We are doing, and Roth Sparkles Elsam, hello. Jessica, hello. All right, so everyone that is saying what about me and a reading and all that, welcome. This is Table Talk Thursdays. Regularly on Wednesdays, I do my spirit messages from your spirit team, mini psychic readings. Plus, I do last minute lives with that. So go ahead and like and follow my Elyse Ann Psychic page and make sure your notifications are set at favorites. All right. And hopefully I'll see you again for readings. Okay. So, wow. Christy says, wow, you have come a long way. What a journey. Yeah, I've worked hard. I have. I've come a long, long way, but I'm worth it. More than worth it. I am reaping the benefits and I am so blessed and so joyful. So thank you. 5240, best answer I have ever heard. Love it. Thank you, Amy. Thank you. Allison, thank you for responding to Jessica and everybody else. And hi, Tracy. And so let's see. New here. Well, Jessica, welcome. Welcome to everybody who's new here. And everybody who's old here. Me, I'm old. No, I'm just kidding. All my regulars and everybody that's new, welcome. I'm glad you're here. We're actually about ready to wrap up. Tracy, again, there's no readings tonight. I hope. I hope you'll join us again. I hope you heard what I said a minute ago. Thank you, Linda Lou, for responding. Okay. Tracy says, can you help me? Okay, this may be a reading question. Let me just read it. As an empath, thought absorbing others, but recently heard it's intruding on their space and feeling them that way. That I think is going to be more of a reading question. So, let's see. Everybody's saying not doing readings tonight. Okay, expectations lead to disappointments. They can. We can have hopes, dreams, beliefs, but when we expect something, especially when it's expectations of someone else, especially. So, Juanita, hello, Juanita. It's in your knowing you wake up. Absolutely, I agree. Linda Lou, connecting with you is bringing me back to where I need to be, admittedly, and I did get lost for a bit. Well, I'm so glad you're connecting, and it happens. We all get lost. Don't think I found myself down a different road here and there, and I'm like, what am I doing here? Did I make a right turn instead of a left back there? So I get it. All right, June, what tools did you use to get where you are now? All right. Okay, now, that's a great way for me to wrap this up. But before I wrap it up, I feel like we could probably go on. I'm not sure. I'm kind of in that space of, is this complete tonight, or do we want to talk some more about this and in different ways? Because there's a whole another way I didn't even bring up. About how negative and positive energies exist in the psychic, realm, and what we need to know about all that. So, I am going to talk a little bit about the tools, okay? And in the meantime, I would like all of you, let me know if you feel we've completed this subject tonight, or if we're going to do part 2 next week. Give me your ideas and thoughts in the comments, okay? So, excuse me a minute. Pardon me, guys, my allergies. So, oh, Linda, you're so funny. What do you feel? Do you feel we need to discuss more? I'm done. Psychic sign is hung up, and I'm done. No more feelings about it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm being a little silly and goofy. Okay, so it looks like everybody really would like a part 2. So that's what we'll do for next week. In the meantime, let's talk a little bit. I'm going to give you one of my favorite tools. That's how I'm gonna complete this evening, because one of this really made a difference for me, and I love sharing it because it's a visualization and an exercise kind of the same time, but it's not like one of those, oh, it's an exercise, I gotta sit down and just do this. No, because I'd be like, so what do I do? What did I do? A lot of what I did. First of all, self-talk is huge. Huge. If you find yourself walking down that negative path, you need to stop, cancel, clear it, and then say, wait a minute, and reword it. Self-talk, tell yourself those things that you need to hear about your worthiness, your loving yourself, and anything and everything you need to tell yourself to build yourself up, okay? But besides that, I at one point, Spirit gave me this. This goes back a lot of years when I was really, really digging in and really wanted to shift this a lot. I would visualize and see like a negative train and a positive train. And when I would catch myself in something negative, be it a thought, words, whatever it is, I instantly know I'm on this negative train. And I'd stop myself and I'd say cancel, clear. And then what I would do, and I like the old fashioned ones with the steps down. I don't like them level with the platform. I think it's cooler to walk down the steps. So there you go. So I would visualize myself walking down the steps off of the negative train. I'd cross the platform. This is all visualization. And I'd walk up the steps and get on the positive train. And then I would reword everything. Whatever it was, I reword it, or I give myself affirmations, whatever I needed to change it. And that I did a lot. Now, the other piece I really, really want to say about that, please, everyone, please, please, please remember, we are all human. And this is not about perfection, and this is not about never being negative, okay? Because it's not about judging and blaming and criticizing ourselves. If that's all we know or all we've known, how can we expect ourselves to just overnight? I like to say, the analogy is, I'd like to say, if you were only taught addition How can you know how to do calculus? You were never taught. Okay, so it's about retraining yourself, having compassion and grace for yourself, and understanding you are going to slip. I still slip. The word should, that is the word I've been working on eradicating out of my vocabulary for a long time. It's so ingrained. And I still say it. And I'm catching it almost every time now. I'm catching it. So I'm making progress. That's the progress to eventually eliminating it out of my vocabulary. But I don't beat myself up when I say, oh, God, you said it again. What's wrong with you? No, I just say, there you go. You said it. Okay. And I just acknowledge it with neutrality and say, okay, keep being aware. And when I do catch it, I do reword it. You may not catch it because I know I do it on the lives every once in a while. I catch it, and so it's not about beating yourself up. Please have compassion and grace for yourself. Again, how can you know how can you do anything differently if you weren't given the tools and you weren't trained to do it in the positive? So the trains on. Oh, you weren't trained, and then I have the visualization of the trains. Cute. Okay, just got that. So those are a couple of the tools and some of the encouragement I wanted to offer you this evening when it comes to the positive and the negative. So let me just take a quick look at the rest of these comments before we wrap up. We're just a little bit over time here. It looks like the consensus, yes, looks to be that we definitely want to talk more about this next week. Okay. So let me see, Tracy. Yes, my question kind of on topic. Negative energy from others is learning to radiate but out the positives who don't feel negative, including their space. You know what, Tracy? Bring that up next week. I got a great tool. You know what? Let me just throw out the tool now because I could talk about this a lot when I give you this tool, but I'll just give you the tool. White bubble of white light energy and step into it completely encased every day. White light is the highest vibration. It's like the mosquito netting. You're throwing on the mosquito netting, which is going to keep 95% of that negative energy away from you. Okay. So Amy, I hope that helps you a little bit, Tracy. Amy says, beautiful live. Thank you, sweetheart. Let's see, Linda, going for a short walk and seeing what you are grateful for helps immensely. Yes. Tracy, excuse me, cancel clear. Yes, yes, yes. I've been saying that for years. Let's see, Jen, the negative train is easy to get off of. It never goes anywhere. The conductor won't take the tickets and the engineer won't drive. I like that, Jen. Woo! I love that. That's perfect. Yep. Linda Lou, it is perfect. Don't shit on yourself, right? Exactly. Should negative word removed from vocabulary? Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Try is my word. Well, some people say there's no trying, there's just doing. People used to get on me on that one too, and I'm still kind of on the fence, I think, on that one. You're welcome, Tracy. I will is your word. I will. Yes, instead of try, I will, or I am. I am. Awesome. Yes. When walking into work now, I throw a bubble of white light up. Yes, it does. Okay, cool, Tracy. I love it. It needs to be used in the right way. Okay. That's one that I use as well. I usually saying I'm trying though as I'm getting there, but I'm not quite there yet. Trying almost means we're not doing it. That's what somebody explained to me once because I used the try word. I was using it a lot. I still do sometimes. That's another word I'm recognizing. And some people say, well, if you're trying, it means you're not really doing. So you're doing it, not trying it. So that's a nuance there, and I'm just sharing it with you, Allison, and everybody else, and you can take it for whatever it is. So okay, I like your messages about reframing your thoughts. Absolutely, Jessica. And I believe anything negative can be turned into a positive. That's my belief system. Yoda. We're getting into Yoda now. As Yoda says, there is not try, do, or do not. There is not try, do, or do not. There you go. I like that, Linda. Cool. Try is having doubt. Love it, love it, love it. Love all the interaction. I know we're about 10 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour, at least 8 o'clock here in Arizona. Tracy says, okay, I'm following you now so I can find you easier. Absolutely wonderful. Also like my page, Tracy. Don't forget that. Make sure your notifications are set at favorites and invite your friends to my page. I am looking to build. I am just a few people away from 1,300. You remember less than what? 2 months ago, I was at 1,000. So keep helping me build my following, you guys. This is what I do for a living. This is how I get out there. This is how I help people. This is how I can continue to help people, is to earn my living and pay my bills through this. So let people know about me. And a lot of you have had readings with me too. So you can attest to the work that I do privately one-on-one. So awesome. It's your maybe for the try. Okay, that also is kind of a doubting word. Maybe, so awesome. Boy, you're full of typos tonight. I know, Linda, I have that. I get like that sometimes too. And you are so welcome. Great live session as always. Much love to you. Now, next week, join us again, same time, 7 p.m. Arizona time, Pacific Standard Time. We're going to do part two. But let everyone know, it doesn't mean that they can't, if they missed part one, it doesn't mean that they can't join us in part two, because as we all know, it goes in the direction it's supposed to go, and each one's very different. No matter what my intention is that I set for the evening, spirit has the flow, and we just go along with it. So to everyone, this has been great. I love it. I love that my Table Talk audience is growing. I want it to grow even more. And so let everyone know about me and my lives and everything. Just invite your friends, tell them about me, and let me shine my light and love and compassion on the world. That's the truth of it for me. As you can see, it lights me up. So to everyone this evening, thank you so very much for going along on this ride with me. I had a great time, as I always do. I love each and every one of you. Just the support and the love and the kind words and the reviews and the sharing and everything that you do for me. I am beyond grateful. And so thank you so very much. I'm sending many blessings and much love to everyone. Have a great rest of your evening, your afternoon, or your morning, depending upon where you are in the world. Much love. Mwah. See you soon.